We're lucky enough to be living through the golden age of TV, where there's more quality content than ever and increasingly less motivation to head outside for any reason other than to top up the snack pile. A Netflix binge waits for no one, after all. As content-rich as the world of TV is today, however, not everything produced is deemed suitable for all types of audiences. Showrunners are still attempting to push what's appropriate to screen, offending countries around the world and even their own origin lands in the process. Gone are the days of Family Guy ruining everyone's dinner. Instead, we get legit political propaganda and just loads of sex. Sometimes together if they're working hard enough. In the quest to find the most glaringly off-tone programming of them all then, let's take a look at just how bad it can get. I'm Ash from What Culture, and these are 10 banned TV shows that shocked the world. 10. China considered time travel disrespectful. Doctor Who. The Chinese censors have some precedent here, having infamously banned Winnie the Pooh from state-controlled TV and internet due to him being mockingly likened to Chinese President Xi Jinping online. Surely even stranger than that, though, was the nation's decision back in 2011 to clamp down on any media which featured the use of time travel, which the censors deemed frivolous and disrespectful of history. This resulted in the totally harmful and damaging show that is Doctor Who being banned from official broadcast in the country, with no consideration given to its playful, campy tone or the fact that it's not terribly disparaging of real-life historical figures, especially Chinese ones. Ultimately, money talks though, and the ban was seemingly quietly lifted when BBC Worldwide cut a deal with Shanghai Media Group Pictures to distribute the entire Doctor Who back catalogue across TV and VOD services in China. Phew! 9. High school shootings made Paramount change their mind. Heathers. Paramount Network originally intended to air this adaptation of the classic black comedy Heathers earlier last year, but following February's Stoneman Douglas high school shooting, the edgy series which dabbles in similar subject matter was pushed back to the summer. A month prior to its premiere, though, the network dropped the show entirely, a full 10-episode season of which had already been produced due to Viacom executives expressing discomfort with the show's thorny themes in light of yet another school shooting. Several episodes had already been screened and reviewed by critics though. They weren't kind, shockingly, and because the rights had already been sold internationally, the show can still be viewed in other territories despite being effectively banned in the US. 8. Kenya hated its secret agenda. Hey Arnold. Despite being over 2 decades old, Nickelodeon's classic animated show, Hey Arnold, was banned last year by the Kenya Film Board in a sweeping crackdown on TV series that support, in some serious air quotes here, the deviant LGBT agenda. Along with the likes of The Legend of Korra and Adventure Time, Hey Arnold was said to glorify homosexual behaviour and was deliberately designed to corrupt children's moral judgment regarding the institution of family. What? Excuse you? In specific reference to this show, the ruling argued that Arnold's grandpa Phil has a penis for a head, referring to his testicle-looking chin and shaft that seems to run up the side of his head, and also singled out a scene in which a sign reads, "Try my sausage," while pointing to Phil, accusing it of further promoting the gay agenda. That is some plain old-fashioned homophobia right there. No thank you. 7. The Cruel Intentions prequel series was too sexy for Fox. Manchester Prep. Manchester Prep was a series commissioned by Fox as a prequel TV show to the hit 1999 movie Cruel Intentions. The show was set to star a 25-year-old Amy Adams as Catherine and Robin Dunn as Sebastian, the roles played by Sarah Michelle Gellar and Ryan Philippe in the film respectively. In the late 1999, however, Fox reportedly got cold feet over the show's sexual content and halted production after 2 episodes had been completed. Considering the blandly sexless nature of most of Fox's TV output, it is pretty shocking they'd even swing for a show like this in the first place. But hey, gratuitous violence is fine, isn't it? But that wasn't the end of the story. An enterprising Fox then decided to recoup some of their sunk loss by re-editing the completed episodes into a feature film and even shooting some sexier additional scenes. The end result was a straight-to-video Cruel Intentions prequel, confusingly titled Cruel Intentions 2. The film was quietly released in early 2001 and quickly scorned by critics, yet nevertheless proved successful enough to warrant the release of a 3rd movie in 2004. Funnily enough, Amy Adams opted to not return. 6. O.J. Simpson's murder confession deemed tasteless. If I Did It. If I Did It was a planned cross-media project in which O.J. Simpson offered an apparently hypothetical explanation for the murder of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend Ronald Goldman, of which Simpson was accused and acquitted. If I Did It was both a book and a TV special, intended to air on Fox to coincide with the book's scheduled release, the latter featuring extensive video interviews with Simpson about how he would have committed the murders. On the eve of their November 2006 release and airing, though, Fox opted to abandon both projects, citing pressure from Fox station owners and the fast-mounting avalanche of bad PR. The book was eventually published in a revised form after the rights were transferred to Goldman's family, preventing Simpson from profiting off it. And though the TV specials never aired in their entirety, segments were broadcast by Fox earlier this year. 5. It's political propaganda, according to Myanmar. Is there any TV series, animated or not, as brilliantly representative of the American family as The Simpsons? Though its anarchic spirit has proven controversial over the years, to the extent that President Bush even directly called the show out during a 1992 re-election campaign speech, the show's soft, sentimental edges make it hard to imagine many finding it truly objectionable. The nation of Myanmar, formerly Burma, wasn't quite as charmed with it as the rest of the world though, deciding that the series' bright yellow character designs and orange-red clothes were a little too similar to the yellow-red colour combination used by rebel groups fighting back against the state's military junta. This resulted in not only the TV series being pulled, but the Simpsons movie being denied a release in the region in 2007. 4. Interview subjects were bribed by producers, escaping the KKK. A&E produced this documentary series about members of the Ku Klux Klan wishing to escape its clutches. But just 3 weeks ahead of its January 2017 premiere, the network pulled its show. This was following revelations that producers had paid some interviewees in exchange for access to the KKK, in firm violation of A&E's policy not to fund hate groups. Considering A&E is co-owned by Walt Disney, it is little surprise that the House of Mouse wanted nothing to do with this. And despite A&E retaining support for the show as a serious piece of investigative journalism, they ethically had no choice but to prevent the show from airing. Regardless of how the docu-series could have turned out, it's an integrity move in the very least, and flies in the face of the money-grabbing soullessness we as viewers generally expect from the entertainment industry. 3. Marvel and World War II. Captain America: The Animated Series. Marvel teamed up with Saban Entertainment to produce a Captain America animated series set to air in late 1998, which would reimagine Cap as Tommy Tompkins, Steve Rogers being revealed as a cover name, with Red Skull taking the antagonist role, while the typical expected Nazi context would be toned down considerably. Scripts were written, major design elements were completed, and a 60-second sizzle reel was prepared, but the plug was pulled somewhere along the line, the precise nature of which remains rather ambiguous. Some point to Marvel's bankruptcy as slamming the kibosh on production, yet more persistent rumours indicate the studio objected to even the faintest whiff of Nazi imagery, despite these aspects already being firmly stripped from all of the finished scripts. Considering that Marvel reportedly had to ask the writers not to include a sequence where Stonehenge is transformed into a giant swastika by Red Skull, they may have just decided to cut their losses and avoid a PR disaster in the midst of their already calamitous financial issues. 2. Promoting promiscuity and being blatantly racist. All My Baby's Mamas. Proving that even the reality TV Sausage Factory has some vague standard of decency sometimes, this show starring rapper Shorty Lowe and the 10 different mothers of his 11 children was supposed to air in 2013, following the ins and outs of their, unconventional family dynamic. After public outcry over the show's perceived glorification of promiscuity and dangerous reinforcement of racial stereotypes, however, Network Oxygen cancelled it. Given that a petition calling for its cancellation received almost 40,000 signatures, it's little surprise Oxygen cowed to the pressure, especially as they're a subsidiary of the all-powerful entity that is NBC Universal. And with that, the world was deprived of yet another soul-sappingly inane, wildly offensive slice of reality. Oh no, don't go. 1. Documentary subjects practiced poor corpse preservation. Good grief. While this Lifetime-produced docu-series about the day-to-day workings of a Texan family mortuary didn't have an inherently problematic premise, the network buried, the the show after the July 2014 discovery of 8 unattended and/or decomposing corpses at the funeral home, leading to the arrest of the owner. Lifetime surely must have been tempted to lean into the controversy and exploit it for their own promotional gain. But to their surprising credit, they canned the show barely a week after the revelation, literally right on the eve of its intended air date. Considering the show was fully complete and ready to be broadcast, props to Lifetime for just throwing it in a vault, presumably to never see the light of day. That is hardly the sort of restraint you'd expect from a network airing awful TV movies on a weekly basis, such as Bad Stepmother, Evil Doctor, and Fiancé Killer. And that's our list. What banned TV show shocked you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. I've been Ash and this has been What Culture. Make sure to subscribe to the What Culture YouTube channel for more lists like this. And don't forget to visit whatculture.com for daily news and articles. Thanks for watching.